Having a productive study abroad experience relies on your health, safety, and overall well-being. The University of Maryland's Education Abroad team prioritizes your health and safety and offers you resources and guidance throughout the process. This video will cover essential basics on how to plan and prepare for a successful study abroad experience with your health, safety, and well-being in mind. By the end of this video, you should be able to identify some of the key health and safety considerations to think about as you decide if, where, and when, and how to study abroad. Understand that studying abroad requires resilience and know-how to explore your own resilience and manage stress. And know who your points of contact are in education abroad and where to go for information, and know a broad overview of the actions you will need to take in order to study abroad. We know that everyone's study abroad planning and on-site experience will be different. One thing that will likely influence your decisions and experience will be your social identities. Some examples include your race, sexuality, gender, religion, and/or socioeconomic status. Think for a minute about how these identities influence your life on campus and at home. How do you express your identity and with whom? How does your identity influence how you relate to others and the world around you? Now, consider how a new, unfamiliar environment might change your experience of daily life. Keep your social identities in mind. For example, a place with different cultural values, norms, and even laws might change the way you choose to express your identity or even restrict activities that you might normally do at home. So now is a good time to consider, are there laws or legal structures that might impact who you are? Are there aspects of your identity that are celebrated in your host country? What health needs do you have related to your identity? And will those be accessible in your host country? Also think about all those factors of your identity and how they'll show up and live in your host country. We know this can be overwhelming, and we're here to help you. The EA Identity and Affiliation page can guide you through reflecting on your identities and how they can impact or be impacted by a study abroad experience. And another great resource is our Terps Abroad page, where you'll find profiles of former Terps who have studied abroad. And you can search profiles by college or social identity to find students' advice and reflections on how their identities, majors, expectations, and goals impacted their experience. Of course, your EA advisor is also available to discuss the topic of social identity. Your health. When it comes to preparing for a safe and healthy study abroad experience, you will need to consider both your physical and mental well-being and your practical needs while abroad. We strongly suggest you start by speaking with your medical and mental health providers well in advance of your departure. Some important topics to cover include allergies, medication, therapy, and other ways to manage your well-being, such as sleep, hygiene, exercise. Now, it's important to ask questions and equally important to listen to your provider's concerns about your specific health profile. If you will need any accommodation while abroad, this is a great time to discuss your needs, not only with your medical providers, but also with an education abroad advisor and/or the Accessibility and Disability Services Office at University of Maryland. Studying abroad is a unique experience you'll remember for the rest of your life. In addition, being in a new environment may bring new and possibly more frequent challenges and stress. And this can even show up in common activities like visiting a grocery store or finding a healthcare provider. Therefore, it's important to assess your own resilience and how you manage stress. We encourage you to explore the resources available on our Health and Safety resource page, where you can learn more about why building strong resilience can be one of the most powerful tools at your disposal. Support structures. All of us need a support structure as we navigate new experiences. What will this look like for you while you're studying abroad? Generally speaking, study abroad students can count on a personal safety net composed of friends, family members, your education abroad team of advisors, medical and mental health professionals, academic advisors at University of Maryland, or at your host program institution, as well as other in-country support staff and faculty. As you progress through the study abroad application process, you will learn more about additional resources in place to support your well-being. And it's important to not only identify who and what comprise your personal safety net, but also identify how you will engage with each person and resource in your safety net. Keeping in touch with loved ones across time zones can be challenging, so we encourage you to plan ahead and set expectations for staying connected to those who support you. For example, consider having a conversation with your family about how often you plan to communicate with them and how, by text, phone call, social media, other tools. Your responsibilities. As you can see, you have a role to play in ensuring a successful study abroad experience, especially when it comes to your health and safety. It is your responsibility to work with Education Abroad and your host institution or organization to stay informed about health and safety issues, communicate your needs and concerns, and understand the rules and requirements of both your program and your host country. Education Abroad and your in-country program staff will share information with you via messages, MyEA, advising sessions, pre-departure and on-site orientation, among other ways. It is up to you to read, attend, participate, and regularly check these channels of communication. Additional resources. Please be sure to consult our Health and Safety Resource webpage, which offers helpful links that can further support your research on health and safety considerations ahead of your study abroad journey. As you can tell by now, studying abroad requires significant actions on your part. Choosing to study abroad means committing to the process and working proactively to understand the steps involved and how to complete them. Listening to these video modules is a great first step, and here are some other actions you will need to take. Research the programs and locations of interest to you. Have conversations with your academic advisors, your family, your medical and health providers about what you want to study, where you want to go, your finances, your travel plans, and more. Know who your Education Abroad advisor is and schedule an advising session with them. Complete your program application and set up your MyEA profile. Commit to completing all of the requirements outlined in MyEA. Budget and plan for the costs associated with studying abroad, especially those associated with maintaining your well-being, meals, housing, transportation, healthcare. And when you've confirmed enrollment in your program and you know your travel dates, register your trip in the U.S. Department of State's Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. Why do this? Doing so allows you to receive alerts from the U.S. Embassy in your location and helps embassy staff contact you in an emergency. If you're not a U.S. citizen, check with your home country's government for a similar service and register for it. Commit to attending pre-departure orientations and on-site orientations. Orientations are a crucial part of the preparation and transition process for study abroad, providing information that will help to ensure that you have a safe, productive, and fun study abroad experience. You will be required to attend pre-departure orientations before you depart for your program. You may also be required to attend an on-site orientation by your host institution or provider once you arrive in country. Please do not skip or avoid these orientations. They are designed to help you make a successful transition to life abroad and set you up for success. Orientations are critical for learning specifics about your program's academic, conduct, health and safety, and other expectations. They help you understand how to adjust to life in your host country, identify your key points of contact, and respond to an emergency. You will interact with your host country's culture in big and small ways, and orientations can help you recognize non-intuitive culture cues and provide strategies to help you navigate differences in food, music, interpersonal relationships, and so much more. You've already begun to meet the pre-departure orientation requirements by viewing these modules and answering the questions in MyEA. Congratulations, you are well on your way to becoming an informed study abroad student and traveler.